Today you're getting the talk from Jackson, not Sonic Boy today, because I think this is a wider issue beyond the Sonic the Hedgehog series, although I still want to use my own platform to talk about this and to express how much I just don't like it. Hate to say I told you so, folks, but I called it. I did call it only days before it actually happened. In my GTA 6 video on my second channel, I said that companies will take the wrong lessons from GTA 6, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but that's exactly what happened. When PlayStation announced that they are no longer going to be making physical discs starting in January of 2028. Every new game past that January of 2028 point is going to be exclusively digital. PlayStation is literally going to be making discs for no games. First and third party alike. No one's going to get a disc. The thing that I like most about physical media is the fact that it establishes ownership. You can physically, tangibly hold something in your hands that you know you own. With digital games, not only one, do you not own it in general because it's a license, but you also have nothing to show for it besides a specific combination of pixels on screen that can be taken away at any given time for the most arbitrary of reasons. This is going to be the thing that is the beginning of the end for gaming. GTA 6, I hate to say it caused a lot of bad practices. $3 billion in one day, reportedly, from pre-orders alone of a exclusively digital product. Obviously, the gaming industry was going to take on whatever was successful from GTA 6 in the first place, but this is the first mark of that. The end of physical titles for PlayStation. I bet you it's not going to be just PlayStation. It's going to end up being Xbox, whatever Nintendo has to put out next. It's going to be the end of all physical games, and then eventually probably all physical media, including movies, music, and probably books to a certain extent too. Something I didn't mention in the recording of this video is the fact that PlayStation cited changing consumer trends as one of the reasons for the all-digital thing. Again, I don't think it's much of a coincidence given the fact that GTA 6 made, once again I have to reiterate this, $3 billion. Reportedly, of course. But I think time will eventually tell that this is going to be the wrong move for PlayStation and the gaming industry as a whole. Obviously, I think we've been leaning more so towards digital in the past decade or so, but I still think there is a large enough crowd of players who play exclusively physical or a majority physical that will be just fed up with this, including myself. I don't like the fact that I won't be able to get to hold a new Sonic game in my hands past 2027. That's just a concept I do not envy at all. Like, as you can see in my background here, you can see all my physical Sonic tiles back there, and that's included within my other 64 physical tiles that I have across 3 console generations. One of the biggest mistakes I've made in terms of gaming is getting Sonic Racing Crossroads on digital. I don't own that game at all. It could be taken away from me at any point, especially if Sega just decides to pull it, or if PlayStation decides to pull it, or if I've been a bad boy according to some arbitrary rule in my user license agreement. I could just get it pulled. It won't be my game. It isn't my game. I just have the right to the license. I don't have the right to the game itself. And that's scary, because then eventually you're going to get to a point where you don't own anything. I said this in the comment section regarding GTA 6, but you will pay for everything and own nothing. That's where things are heading. And that is a scary world to live in, folks. If you're in the United States, talk to your local representative. Try to get a bill started somewhere that blocks this, like how the EU blocked the lightning cables for iOS devices. Or if you're in another country, try to establish something like the Stop Killing Games movement. We need something like that for PlayStation, and we also need better consumer protections. That's what we need. We need to scare PlayStation as much as possible so that if they get punished super hard, no one else will even think about doing this. I know for a fact if this decision stands, which I know things have changed, especially back in 2021, where they tried to do this but it failed. I'm not buying the next PlayStation product. In fact, especially if this becomes a wider gaming mark within the next couple of years, I'm probably not going to be gaming for much longer. And you may say, what about the older titles? Well, that's going to be substantially harder if no more PlayStation discs are being made, especially for the newer games on PS4 and PS5, and whatever else the PS6 has to offer, if that even has any discs when that comes out. And then other platforms that can move to, Xbox might get rid of their stuff. Nintendo, I'm never buying a Nintendo product ever again after my 2DS. And Steam, I guess I could move to there, but even then, you still own the license to the game. You don't own the actual game, although they are a lot more trustworthy when it comes to stuff like that. Eventually, with how much stuff they've been pulling over these past few years, and even the past few weeks too, especially with that whole like 500 plus movies getting removed from people's catalogs just because of a licensing issue, like, that's just, like, not a good omen. And I don't think I want to be a part of that, like, at all. I want to own my media. I think everyone else does too. And I don't want to have to, like, what is essentially borrowing it from PlayStation, and if it gets taken away from me, I don't even get a refund. And of course it makes me sad too, because I love video games, and especially, again, one of the biggest franchises I subscribe to is Sonic the Hedgehog, a video game franchise. So I'm not sure how this is going to affect my decision-making process when it comes to upcoming Sonic games, especially past 2027. Like I said, talk to your local lawmaker, your state representatives, anything along those lines to get this even somewhere in the judicial process of stopping PlayStation from doing this. Because if we let PlayStation do this, guarantee you, everyone else is going to do this too, and it is not going to be good for the gaming industry. In fact, like I said earlier in the video, you are watching the death of the gaming industry in real time. A very slow but steady death. You will own nothing and enjoy it. You will own nothing and be happy about it. That's essentially what PlayStation's telling you. It's a big F you to the consumer, and I think that is really destructive. It's not something I want to indulge at all, and I think that's a decision pretty much everyone should be making, especially people who only buy digital games. If you only buy digital games, you should care about this more than anyone, because this will especially affect you. I am in full support of whatever the people boycotting PlayStation do next, because if we get some sort of law passed, if PlayStation just crumbles down to the ground, I'm going to be so happy. Because that means they either can't take advantage of anyone because they can't, or because we stop them from doing so. Hopefully it comes to that. I'm sure it probably won't, because you know how gamers are. We kind of just say things and don't actually act. We don't vote with our wallets. Clearly seen by GTA 6, of course. A bunch of people who were saying, no disc, $80, they still bought it. They still pre-ordered it day one. We haven't even seen any gameplay from that game. That annoys me the most, is the fact that we've only had 2 trailers and maybe a cover art, some screenshots, and that's pretty much it. We haven't actually seen any gameplay. Besides, of course, what was leaked back in 2022, but of course it's probably a whole different game at this point. I still can't believe I called it. Although it does feel nice to be vindicated, of course, so I'm happy about that at the very least, although I didn't want it to happen in the first place. So if there's one thing that I could leave you with as the message for this video, you will pay for everything and own nothing. And you will like it. You'll be happy. That's what PlayStation wants you to think. I know that's not what you think. You're better than that. I know it. I'll see you all in the next Sonic the Hedgehog video, of course. I know this is a big tonal shift, but I have a bigger audience here, and I think this is a more important message to spread rather than a review of Sonic the Hedgehog IDW issue 82, you know? Like, I'm just saying. I'll see you all in whatever video comes next. Bye, guys.